Hi, welcome to part 2 of Flutter REST API integration series. In this video, we are going to focus on post, put, patch and delete request. So if you haven't watched the previous video yet, then I recommend you to watch that video, as we have covered basics about the data models and how we can make HTTP request, how we can install the HTTP package, and how we can display the data received from the API. So in the last video we have used the API from regress.in, but in this video we are going to make our own API without writing the code. Okay, so here you can see I have basic Flutter app up and running in my device. Now we are going to create an API of our own with the help of this website named Retool. Okay, so just open your browser and enter retool.com/API generator API generator. So scroll down and here you can see the API preview, and here we can use our own data types. Okay, so for example, if I'm making an API that will do CRUD operation on company's data, then I can create a company API. So here you in the bottom you can see the API name. Here you can simply write company, and you can mention the number of rows that you want or the number of items that the database will return. Okay, now let's go for only 5 data. Okay, 5 data. Now you can see the 5 data only, and let's go for, instead of this column 1, we can go for name, and it can be, okay, it can be a company name. Okay, and let's add another column and let's give it a name address. Okay, address, and let's change the data type. It is with the location, and here you can see the location, and let's add another column called phone number, phone, and let's change the data type to phone. Inside numbers, okay, I think it's inside people, so we can add phone number also, and let's add on field for image. Maybe let it be a logo. Okay, I think we can find this under the miscellaneous section, and here we can add company logo. So our API is almost ready, and it will return the 5 data. The data is also clear here. Here the company ID is 1, name is Uber, address is great false something, and phone number is here, and here is the logo. So we will retrieve this data in our mobile app. We will add a new data, as here are only 5 data. We will add 1 or 2 more data, and we will edit data, and we will delete this data. Okay, and this is free. Okay, you don't need anything, you don't need to sign in, and it is available for 30 days. Okay, and okay, now the basic schema of the data is completed. Now click on generate API, and it will provide you with the API endpoints. Okay, so scroll down, and here we can see the methods. Okay, so if I want to see the list of the companies available, then I can simply click on this link, and here is our base URL, that is retoolapi.dev /rd. This is the unique ID specially generated for me, and if you can use this ID as well, but it is going to expire after 1 month if nobody uses it, or I recommend you to create your own API by following the steps I have just shown. Okay, Now you can see the data here: id, logo, name, phone number, address. Let's see the logo. Okay, it is not loaded it. I think it is dark and my screen is also dark. So here we have logos also. So let's jump to our app and start doing it. Okay, here you can see all the methods like post method, put, patch, delete. Okay, we will integrate this get, post, put, patch, delete. Okay, let's repeat the same things that we have done for the first video. Okay, like creating basic folders and screens. So let's make a folder named model screens. Okay, widgets, and then services. Okay, first of all, let's write the model, and let me create a file named company.dart, and let's start defining this class. Okay, class company, and let's write the variables here. The first one is integer id. Okay, let's see the response of that API, and uh, we can model it. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, I will comment it. Now let's start defining it. Okay, now here we have string logo, string name, string. Okay, phone number is also in string format, so we can go for string phone number, and string address. Now let's make a constructor to initialize this variable. So let's make company, and let's make this named, and be sure to add the required keyword. Okay, required this dot id, comma, required this dot logo, comma, required this dot name, required this dot phone number, and required this dot address. Let me close this with the semicolon, and let's write a method to JSON to convert the company object to a JSON format. Okay, so I'm going to write company dot from JSON, and here we have map string, comma, dynamic, and let me name it JSON. And here we have to initialize each and every variables, and it will return the company object. Okay, so the id is going to be JSON id. So make sure that the thing that you write inside the quotation match with the things written by your API. Okay, for example, id, logo, name, phone, address. Okay, it must be exactly same. Id name is equals to JSON name, phone number is equals to JSON phone number, JSON phone. I think it is JSON phone only there, phone, and now address. Okay, logo is missed. Okay, so let's add logo, JSON logo, address, JSON address. Okay, I think we have covered all the variables, and here we have, okay, non-nullable instance field address must be initialized. Try adding an initializer or field. Let's start defining the variables of the company. So first of all, we have integer id, and then string name, or we can simply say company name, string company address, and then string company phone number. We are going to use string for company phone number because our API returns the string. As you can see here, you can see the phone number is in the string format. So we have company logo remaining, and it is string logo, or we can append company logo. So let's define a constructor for company, and this dot company address, this dot company logo, this dot company name, this dot id, this dot company number. This is phone number. Okay, now let's define a company dot from JSON method so that we can create a object of the company from the JSON data received from the API. Okay, so company dot from JSON, and the JSON is generally in type string comma dynamic, and let's give it a name JSON, and let's start initializing the variables. Okay, so for id it is JSON, and the number inside the id key of the JSON data. Okay, and then company name, JSON name. So make sure that the key that you have entered here matches with the key provided by the API. Okay, so here you can see the key is id and value is 1, so logo and the respective value. So make sure that this name matches with the name that you wrote over here. Company address, JSON address, company phone. Okay, company number is JSON phone, and we have company logo, JSON logo. I think we have completed all the variables: ID, name, address, number, logo. Okay, we have ID, name, address, logo and phone number. So let's write another method that we haven't write on the previous video. Is we are just focusing on the get method, that is receiving data from the API and displaying it. Now we have to send the data to the API. Okay, so this is important. Now we have to write the similar method that will convert our data, that is company object, to the JSON format. Okay, now here we have converted the JSON data into the object of company. Now we have to do the reverse. Okay, we have to convert the company object into the JSON format. So for that, let's write a function that generally return map string comma dynamic, and let's give it a name to JSON, and then let's declare a map here. Okay, empty map here, that is of type map string comma dynamic, and let's give it a name data, and I will initialize the empty map over here. Now we have to add the data. Okay, just like this. Okay, but the position of these entities will be changed. Okay, so first of all, for the data ID, we have to assign the ID of the company object, and for the data name, we have to assign company name. Okay, you can do follow all others similarly. Okay, now we have to return this data. Okay, so as our function have this return type map string comma dynamic, we have to return this data, and it is initialized with these values. Okay, now let's return this data, and our toJSON function is also completed. Now let's start writing the services file. Okay, let me create a new file named company services dot company underscore service dot, and let's make a class company service, and we are going to make the following functions. Okay, so first one is get all companies, and this is going to be an asynchronous function. As we are not going to receive the data immediately, we have to make a network request, and we will receive the data after a few seconds, or we may or may not receive the data. Okay, so create a company, so we will make use of post request to create a new company. Another one is update company, and another one is delete company. Okay, delete company. to update and delete the company, we need the ID of the company. Okay, so let's go back to our API, and here you can see like we have to add the company ID over here, okay, in the URL. So when we have to update the company, then we have to pass the company ID, and that company with the provided ID will be updated. So let's define our base API. Okay, so base URL is going to be this. Okay, https //retool api.dev / that my IID, and then the company. Okay, we will append that string later. For now, let's add a base URL as string base URL is equals to, so this will be same for all the methods, and now we are going to make a http get request to get all the companies. Okay, so always try to implement try catch block on your code so that we can easily identify the errors whenever it occurs. Okay, so inside the try block I'm going to write the code, and we will catch if any error occur. Okay, catch it, and let's just print the error. Okay, if any occurs, print error occurred, and let's convert this error to string and display in the console. And inside the try block we are going to write the code, and it will be applicable for all the methods. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste this code block, so let's make a get request. Okay, so if you have watched the previous video, then you know well what we are going to do. If you haven't watched, then you can watch that video, or you can follow along as well. Okay, there is no problem. Now let's define a variable response, and okay, we forgot to add the stdb package. Okay, so first of all, let's add the stdb package. In the terminal you can simply write flutter pop add stdp, or you can see the instruction in the pop.dev website. Okay, just go to pop.dev and search for stdb package, or you can make use of package like do also. Okay, so for the sake of simplicity I am using this package, and go to installing. Just copy this code and paste it in your terminal. This will simply add std package inside uh, the dependency. Okay, here you can see std package is added successfully. Now stop your application and rerun it. Okay, okay, let's start writing. Okay, I will stop my application. I hope it is stopped. Okay, it is. Now let's rerun it again. So before that, let me complete this statement so that I get rid from the syntax error. Okay, so we have to import the std package first. Okay, import package http / stdb dot is stdp, and here you can write await stdb dot get, and here we have to pass the URI So we have URL. Now we have to parse it to URI. Now we can simply write URI dot parse, and here we have to provide our URL, and URL is base URL plus. So let's see the URL. Okay, here you can see the base URL have covered this portion up to slash, and the remaining thing is company. So let's just append this company. Okay, now let's check either the request is successful or not by checking its status code. So if it is successful, we will receive uh, the status code of 200, otherwise we will receive other status codes. Okay, so let's check if response dot status code is equals to 200, then we'll uh, proceed writing the code, else we will throw the exception. Okay, else throw exception, error occurred with status. Okay, let's pass the status code and the message in the exception, so that we can find and solve it quickly, or we can acknowledge what exactly happened. Okay, so status code is string response dot status code. So I have used string interpolation, and the message is string response dot body. Okay, generally body shows the message if there are some errors. So let's handle the scenario when we receive the data. Okay, so the actual data received is inside the body of response. Okay, so let me write a variable data is equals to response dot body, and what we are going to receive in the body is the list of this data. Okay, like I can okay, here you can see the list of data, and you can, I think you will see this in the same line. Okay, and I have a browser extension installed to prettify the result. Okay, so don't worry about it. So inside the body of response we are receiving this data, and now we will iterate through each of this data and convert it to the company object and display it in our UI. Okay, so before that we have to decode, as the data is in JSON format, we have to decode it to use it in our app. Okay, so var JSON data is equals to JSON decode and data. So we are going to decode the data received, and now we can use this data. Okay, so let's create a list to store the companies received from the API. Okay, so let's make list of company. Okay, be sure to import the company. Let me name it all companies, and now for now it is empty. Once we hit the API and the status is 200, then we will receive all the data, and we will iterate over each data. Okay, so for that we are going to use for loop, for each loop, for where company in JSON data. So the JSON data contains the list of all the companies, and we will iterate over each company. We will make a for each data we'll make a object of the company. Okay, now company, new company is equals to company. So here we'll make use of company dot from JSON method that we receive, whose work is to convert the JSON data into the data object, and the new company variable will have the data types of company, and it will hold the object of the company. Okay, so instead of this JSON, the company of one the data of one company is stored in this company variable. Okay, so let's give this or pass it here, and now we are going to append the new company object created to this list. Okay, so let's add it here, all companies dot add new company. So if we have 5 data in received from the API, then this loop will run for 5 times, and the 5 company object will be available in this list. Okay, so after this we are going to return the list of all companies. Okay, return all companies. Okay, so we'll try this, and once it is completed, we'll move forward for creating companies, updating company, and deleting company. Okay, so let's try the screen for displaying the company. So I'll write company screen dot dart. Now let me import material package, create a stateful widget. So we are not going to use any state management solution, so we will continue with stateful widget to handle the state of our app. Okay, and let me name it company screen. So we are going to use stateful widget because we have to update the data in the home screen as soon as it is updated or deleted. Okay, so let's return scaffold. Inside scaffold we are going to give it a app bar, and let's give it a title, text, and company, and let's center it. Okay, I forgot to run the app. Okay, so let's run the app so that we can see the changes that we made, and don't forget to change the home to company screen. Okay, default home to company screen. So instead of this home page we are going to write company screen, and make sure that you import the company screen. Okay, so if I click here, it will automatically import the package. Okay, like you can see here, package crowd API screen company screen dot dot. So inside the body we are going to use a future builder. Okay, in the body we are going to use a future builder, and it needs two properties, that is future and builder. The future is nothing but a function that returns a future, and inside builder we are going to define what we are going to build in the screen according to the data received from the future. Okay, so let's provide a future, that is companies are okay, so let's go to company services, and the future is this function. Okay, the return type of this function is future, as it is a asynchronous function, and now we can access this function by using dot operator. Okay, first we have to make the object of this company service, and then we can use dot operator to access this function. So let's create a company object. So it is not necessary to write something like this. Okay, like company and new company is equals to company. So this is also one of the way to make object, but we can directly make object. Okay, Okay, future is company services, company service. So after adding these two brackets, the object is created. Now we have to use dot operator to access this function, that is get all companies. Okay, and the build process of my application is failed as I have syntax error. So let me maintain or correct the syntax while my app is building, that is, so let's write something in the builder. So builder is a function. Okay, and here inside the parameter list we have context and snapshot. The snapshot variable contains everything that we received from the API. Okay, so we are going to check either we are receiving data from the API or we received error or the process is still loading. Okay, so let's just show the message error occurred getting data from API if error is occurred. Okay, so we can check either error is occurred or not by using the method provided by snapshot. Okay, if snapshot dot has error, actually it is a property. Okay, and it returns a boolean. So if we have error receiving data from this future, then it will be true and the code written inside here will be executed. So we are going to return center. In the child we are going to provide a circular progress indicator. Okay, oh, okay, sorry, not a circular progress indicator but a text showing error receiving data from server. Okay, and if snapshot has data, then we are going to make a list view builder. Okay, and we can uh, store or we can display the data in a container. Okay, so if snapshot has data, then we are going to return a list view builder, and item builder is going to uh, so inside the parameter list we have context and index, and we are going to return a container. So we'll get back to the code of this container. Okay, so if both of these are not executed, then we can conclude that the request is still processing and it is loading, else we can return center, and in the child of center we are going to pass circular progress indicator. Okay, let's add a semicolon here, and now there are no any syntax error. Let's run the application and let's give this container some height and width so that we can easily identify it. Okay, either there is success or not. So height is going to be 200 and width is going, so we are going to change this later. Okay, so let me wrap this with adding. So while it is loading, we are going to discuss about the other stdb methods. Okay, so let's go back to the company service and let's try to write a function for creating a company. Okay, so here we have to pass data to the server. Okay, to the API. So the data must always be in a JSON format. So to ensure that, we have already written two JSON method. So to create a object of the company or the JSON from the object of the company, we need to have a company object in the parameter list. Okay, so here I can make something like company. Okay, so when we try to create the company, then we have to pass the company object. So inside the try block, so one more thing. Okay, so whenever we send a request, we will get response at any instance. Okay, either it is success or failure, we will receive response. Okay, so whenever we add the company, then we will receive a response about the status of the request. Okay, so var response is equals to stdb.post. Okay, so in the last time we have used stdb.get method, and now to add data in the server we are going to use stdb.post method, and the URL for post method is we can check in the API documentation right here. So the URL is same. Okay, just the method is different. As you can see, for the get request the user URL is same, and for the post request URL is same, but the method type is different. So we already make it different by using uh, post method here, and let's add a await keyword, and let's parse the URL. Okay, URI dot parse base URL plus company. So the data we are going to pass must be inside the body of the request. Okay, so if you hover in the post request, you can see there is compulsory parameter URL, and here you can see the optional uh, properties like headers, body, encoding. Okay, so here we have to pass the JSON inside the body. Okay, so for this I'm going to use comma, and here we have to pass the JSON in the body. Okay, so to get the JSON we are going to make use of the to JSON object. Okay, company dot to JSON Okay, simply this will take this company object and convert it to the JSON format. Okay, so all work is done. Like now we have to check. Okay, if response dot, so for creating the company, the status code is will be like 201. Okay, some API will return 200, some API will return 201, so we will check for both. Okay, if status code is equals to 201, or response dot, so I'm adding this 200 because to ensure that we will get the correct message. Okay, we can simply print the message like print the company is successfully created, and we can print the data that we get in this response. Okay, with the following detail, and the detail is response dot body. Okay, response dot body, and if the status code is not 201 or 200, then it is a condition of error, else we can throw the exception. Okay, let me just copy this exception, and I will simply paste it here. An error occurred with the status code this. Okay, we can copy paste this error in every methods. Okay, now we have completed a function to create a company, and we will start editing it soon. Okay, for now our app is created and we can see the ugly screen showing the company in the header, and we have nothing to display. And let's add a print statement here. Okay, so that we can be sure that we have received the data from the API. Okay, now let's write print JSON data. So let me reload the app again, and let's see either we can see the JSON data here or not. Okay, so it is loading. You can see the circular progress indicator and the data is received. Now let's write a widget to display the company details. Okay, so we will first write it here and we will migrate it to the widgets folder. Okay, okay, let's give this container a color. Let me give it a color start red for now, and you can see the container here. Okay, so we have received exactly 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, there are infinite widgets because we haven't passed the uh, item count parameter in the list builder builder. Okay, so we are going to pass item count in the list builder, but before that we must know that how many data are coming, right? So the number of data coming are the length of the API, the length of the array that we have, that function have returned. Okay, so the data returned from the function will be stored inside the snapshot.data. Okay, so let's make a variable data is equals to snapshot.data. Okay, so okay, we have to define it before the list builder. Okay, and here, and we can use typecasting for this, as we already know it is a list of company, so we can typecast this using is keyword list of company. Now we can simply write, okay, instead of this where we can simply give list of company. Okay, as we already know that it is a list of company. Now I can simply write data dot length, as it is a list. Now if you reload or restart, there are only 5 container, meaning that we have only 5 data received from the API. So let's start writing the UI. So I have planned to show the company logo in the beginning of the row and other data in the center, and the actions for that company in the end of that container. Okay, so let's change the width and let's make use of media query so that it will be responsive in every screen. So for width we are going to use media query, or we can we want to cover the whole width. Okay, whole width of the screen, so we can go for double dot max finite. Okay, double dot max finite, and for height we are going to use media query. So this is going to be media query dot of context dot size dot width times, sorry, size dot height. Okay, height times 0.2, that is 20% of the screen height. Okay, so let's see how it looks. Okay, let's make it little bit smaller, 0.15, so 15% will be good. Okay, we'll change this color later. Okay, in the child we are going to provide a row, so that we'll divide the logo, component details and the actions in three different parts. So for that we are going to provide three expanded widget. Expanded, first expanded is for logo, second expanded is for the component details, and third expanded is for the actions for that particular component, that is edit or delete. Okay, expanded. So we can adjust the width of each expanded widget by making use of the flex. So for the logo section we are going to provide a flex value of 1, and it will be by default 1, and the second expanded is going to have a flex value of 3, and third expanded will have flex value of 1. Okay, so you can skip writing flex value in the first and last widget. Okay, as it will be 1 by default. So now this whole row is divided into altogether 5 parts, and this widget will cover the one of 5 part, and the second one will be the third of 5, and similar, and the third widget will cover one of 5 fifth part. Okay, so in this expanded we are going to write the circle avatar. Okay, circle avatar, inside the circle avatar we will show that image. So in the circle avatar background image we will use the network image to display the image received from the API. So the data, the actual image URL will be going to be data index dot logo. Okay, dot company logo, and let's make it not null. Okay, okay, by using this operator we can say that it is not null. In this expanded we will make a column, and in the children we can display the company details. Okay, like company name, so text data index dot company name, and I'm using null check operator to make to let the code editor or program know that it is not going to be null. Okay, so let me copy this 3 times, and instead of company name, company phone, sorry, that is company number, and company address. Okay, okay, it's up to you to make the UI as much beautiful as possible, but for now I'm just going to display the data. Okay, in this expanded we are going to use icon button. Okay, so we are going to use two icon button, that is edit and delete. So let me make a row children and write the code for two icon button. Okay, let me uh, provide an empty function for onPressed, and we will update it later. And in the icon, first we have icons dot edit, and let's change its color to blue. Okay, color is going to be colors dot blue, and another one is delete button. Let me just copy this, and this is going to be the delete icon, icons dot delete, and change its color to red, colors dot red. Okay, let's refresh this and check either we will be able to see the data or not. Okay, we can see the data, but we are receiving the overflow. Okay, this looks ugly. Let's try to improve it. Okay, first of all, let's change the main axis alignment of this column to the centers and cross axis alignment to start. Main axis alignment is going to be main axis alignment dot center, and cross axis is going to be cross axis alignment dot start. Now you can see the data is centered and start in the row. So let's decrease the height of the container, or let's not provide height. Okay, if we do not provide the height, it will consume only that space it requires. But this looks little bit tight. So let's uh, wrap this with more padding. So if I put 18 over here, okay, so we don't need the outer padding, it acts as a margin. So let me just undo this. We can wrap this row with the padding. And we want padding from only top and bottom. So we can going to use agency dot symmetric, and for horizontal we don't need, so we can go with 0, and for vertical let's go with 10. Now you can see we have little bit more space around, so let's change it to 15, and let's provide more flex to the expanded widget, which have these icons. As flex of 1 is smaller, so let me increase it to 2, and you can see as the color of the delete icon is red, we can't see it over there, so let me comment this color, and you can see the delete icon. I think flex of 2 is also not necessary, but we are receiving the overflow, so I have to increase it anyway. So let's change it to 2, and let's change it to 4. Okay, now it's okay, but we can see the address in 2 lines, but it is fine. And let me wrap this. Okay, let's provide some decoration to this container. So in the decoration we are going to use box decoration, and okay, let's give it some border. Let's let me wrap it with a material widget so that we can provide some elevation. So wrap this widget with material, and we can provide the elevation of 10, so that we can see something like shadow effect, and we'll jump decoration after few seconds. So now you can see the shadow over here. So what Okay, okay, so let's not waste time on this stuffs. Let's, okay, I'm skipping the design part. Okay, and here we have issue fetching the first image. As you can see the error here. Okay, now let's add a floating action button to create a new company. Okay, in the scaffold I'm going to add a floating action button, and let's provide a floating action button. On pressed, we'll make a new screen with a form to add details about the company. Okay, so for now it is going to be empty, and we can provide the plus icon as a child. Okay, sorry, icons dot add something. Okay, so I think now you can see the floating action button as well. So once we click on this button, we'll go to the add company page. Okay, so let's make a screen for that, or we can simply say create company dot art. Okay, create company dot art. So let's import material package, stateful widget, create company. Okay, let's make text editing controller to add the details of the company like company name, phone number, address. Okay, okay, we have to define the text editing controller here. Text editing controller underscore name controller equals to text editing controller. Okay, let's make same variable for address and phone number. Okay, now let's make a screen. Inside scaffold we are going to add an app bar, and the title of app bar is going to be add company. So it must be inside the text widget, add company. Okay, inside the body we are going to use form. Okay, so that we can validate the form as well. The form is going to have a column, and let's make a key for the form so that we can use it to validate. So let's make a global key of type form state. Okay, form state, and let's give it a name key, and this is a global key. Okay, so let's assign the key that we have just created to this form. Key is going to be underscore key. Inside the column we are going to have text form field. Okay, text form field. So we are going to provide some decoration, and this decoration will take input decoration widget, and here we can provide hint text, enter the company name, and some border. So border is going to be outline input border. Okay, outline input border, and let's save this, and let's write a code to jump to this create company page upon clicking on this plus button. Okay, so let's go back to the company screen, and inside this empty function in unpressed property of floating action button, let's write navigator dot push of context, and the route is going to be material page route. Inside the builder we are not going to use this concept, so I write underscore, and we are going to add screen or add company page. Okay, it is create company. Okay, now if you click on this plus button, then you will be navigated to the create company page. Okay, so here we have a add company page, and inside here we can add the company name. So let's make some more fields. Before that, let's complete. Okay, so let's provide some label to this. Okay, label text name. Let me save this, and you can see the label name. Okay, now let's wrap this with padding. Now you can see the name clearly. Before we are unable to see the name, and here we can set the helper text as well. Your name here. So as you can see the helper text at the bottom of the widget. So if there is error or validation error, then this will not be appear. Instead of this text you can see the error message. Okay, and important thing, we have to provide the controller created for this field, that is name controller. Okay, so in the controller we are going to provide underscore name controller, and we will wrap this column widget with the single child square view, so that we will not see the overflow issue in the keyboard. Okay, so let's wrap this with widget, and it is going to be a single child square view. Okay, now I will copy and paste this code for our three variables, and we don't have the company logo as of now, so I will put the same logo in every companies that we create here. Okay, so let me just paste it two more times. Okay, so now we have name controller. This is going to be a address controller. So wherever we have name, we are going to convert it to address. Okay, the company address, your company phone number here, name, enter the company phone number. So instead of this name we have to write phone number, and let me save this. Okay, let's make a elevated button to submit this form. Okay, so here I'm going to write a elevated button unpressed. Inside the child I'm going to use a text widget and submit. Now you can see the submit button. Okay, once we click on the submit button, we have to check either the form is validated or not. Okay, so we are not going to cover much about the forms and validation stuff, but for the sake of understanding, I am going to use a validator function here, so that we'll ensure that the field is not empty. Okay, validator. And okay, if you hover in the validator function, we'll get a string. Okay, that is the value, and we can check the condition according to that value. Okay, so here we can simply write the value. The value is the content that we type in the text field. Okay, so if value dot length is equals to 0, so value is not going to be null. So at least to check with the length function, we must make sure that it is not null, otherwise we can't call the length function on the null. Okay, so we have to return, please enter company name. Company name. Okay, 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 only this error will be returned if this condition is true. Okay, so we can ignore this warning. And if we press on the submit button, we have to first of all we have to validate by using the form key. If underscore form key, okay, it is simply a key. Okay, if key dot current state dot is, okay, so we have a validate method that returns a boolean, and it will say either our form is validated or not. Okay, so if it returns true, then our form is validated, else it is not. Okay, so if it is validated, then we can proceed calling. Okay, proceed calling the create company method that we have created in the company service. So if we go in the services file, we need company, okay, company object to call this function. Okay, so let's make a object here. Let's make a company new company is equals to company, and let's initialize all the value. Okay, so we don't need to pass the company id as it will be automatically generated. Okay, let's initialize name. Company name is underscore name controller. So company is name is going to be the name that we typed here, and we can uh, get that text from the name controller dot text. Okay, similarly company address underscore address controller dot text, and company phone number underscore phone controller dot text. Okay, now for the company logo, we don't have the logo yet, so we are going to make use of the logo, existing logo. Okay, so let's make use of the GoDaddy logo. Okay, this I'm going to pass this text directly. Okay, logo, company logo is going to be this string. Now we'll call the function. Okay, company service dot create company, and we are going to pass this new company. Okay, new company. Okay, now we have completed the basic step for creating the company. Now let's pop from this screen and display the message. Okay, like company created successful or something. Okay, so for that let me write okay, we are going to show the message in the snack bar. Okay, so we are going to make use of scaffold messenger dot of context dot show snack bar, and we have to pass the snack bar widget, and the content will be text and company added successfully. So after displaying this message, we are going to pop, okay, navigator dot pop of context. So let's give it a try, and if any error occurs we can fix it. Okay, don't worry. So let me restart the app. We can see the company details. Let's click on plus button here, and let me give the company name as Flutter Hero. Okay, we forgot to change the controller for phone number. Okay, let's change it quickly. Phone controller. Let me save it again, and now we can write Flutter Hero, and address is Pokhara 08 Jalpa Road, and phone number is going to be 9779812345678. Okay, now let's click on submit button, and you can see company added successfully, but we can't see the newly added company here in the home screen. Okay, so let's see the response that we received. Okay, we can check either the data is sent here or not from here. Okay, we don't have the data here, so let's see either okay, what mistake that we have made or what exactly happened. Okay, so we forgot to make the function asynchronous. Okay, so let's make this onPressed function asynchronous and await until this process will completed. Okay, await, and let's check either we have error in this create company function or not. So this is async, and okay, so let's give it a try again, and let me restart it. Okay, now let's enter the value. Flutter Hero, address is Pokhara at Jalpa Road, and phone number is going to be plus 9779812345678. Okay, let's submit. Okay, still we can't see the data here. Okay, let's see the response from API. I think I can't see. Let me just restart the app. Okay, still we don't got the data. Okay, let's debug what error that we have received. Let me clear the console and I will write some debug statement here, like print. Okay, this is how you are going to debug. Okay, like you can use uh, log function also. Okay, log, and create company is called. After this we can log this response. Okay, log the response is string response dot body. Okay, don't forget to encode this in the JSON. Okay, like we can simply use JSON encode. Wait, and we can pass the object. Okay, like let's find the actual reason first. Okay, okay, for now I'm entering the random data just to check. Okay, now the motivation to enter the real data is gone. Now we can see anything, like the function is not called at all. Okay, we can't see any log, so this means the request is not gone. I think we have some issue in the validation. So let me just, okay, it is executed anyway, otherwise we couldn't have seen the message of company added successfully in the snack bar. But what's the issue? Okay, let's check the error here. So if the company is not added here, then we certainly have the error occurred. And in the services function, we have write print statement if some errors occurred. So let's go to the trade company, and here our catch statement catch all the errors if it is occurred. So let's source the error inside this log. Okay, in the filter section over here, you can simply write error, and here you can see the error message. Error occurred. Type null is not a subtype of type string in the type cast. Okay, so whenever uh, the that program is trying to cast the object that we have sent to string, then it received null value. Okay, what exactly happened is, in the model file of component.dat, we have included this ID, but we haven't sent the ID in the object that we have created in the create employee string, right? Let me show you here. In the create company, here we haven't added the ID. What? This method needs ID, like in the first statement here, the ID of that data. Okay, that inside this variable in the ID key, it is ID, but we don't have ID in that object, so this error occurred. So as we don't need ID while creating an employee, so we can simply comment this and retry it. Okay, so let me restart the app and let's try creating the company again. Okay, now let's add again Flutter hero, address Pokhara 08 Ralph Road, phone number 9779812345678. Okay, now click on submit and we can see the message completed successfully, but again we are not able to see it here because uh, the future here it is already loaded, so we have to restart the application again to see this, or we can implement something like pull to refresh to get the latest data as soon as new one is added. And here you can see the new data of the company Flutter hero, and you can see the logo, URL that we provided of the query. Now we have successfully created the data. It's time to implement the decision feature. Okay, so I'm doing the delete first because it is quite easy. Okay, we just need to write the function to delete it, and it is quite easy and straightforward. Okay, so let's go this and we'll handle the update at the last. Okay, so to delete the company, let's go and check the API endpoint. Okay, so here you can see to delete the method type, the stdb method type must be delete, and the URL must be base URL slash company slash the ID of the ID of the company that is created. Okay, we can get the ID from the company object that is created. Okay, so to delete the company we need ID, so I'm going to write int ID and let's write the same code like we write in the crate. Okay, but we don't have to pass anything in the body, so I'm going to copy it from the get method. Okay, so var response is equals to always stdb dot. Okay, instead of this get we have to use delete method, delete, and we have to pass the URL, but we have to append the ID also in the URL. Okay, so let's write plus and write slash and string ID. Okay, I think this will do the work. Okay, and let's write. Okay, let's check either it is a success or error. Okay, for this also I'm going to copy the code from this update method, create company method. Okay, so so let's see the status code here. Okay, for delete operation we may receive the status code 204. So let me add 204 over here. Okay, 201 is for content created successfully, and the company is successfully deleted with the following details. Okay, let it be as it is, and error occurred with status code will be fine. So let's go back to the UI and let's implement the function. Okay, go to company screen. So when somebody click on the delete icon, so here we have delete icon. So let's ask either if they want to delete for sure or not. So for that, I'm going to use stdb, and they should have two properties, that is context and the builder. Inside the builder, we are going to build a alert dialog. Okay, return alert dialog. In the alert dialog title, we can simply say ask, are you sure want to delete company? Sure want to delete company. Okay, in the actions, we can show two elevated buttons. Okay, elevated button showing as or not. So in the side, let's write text as. Here in another, we're going to write no. So if user click on as, we are going to delete the data. That is, we'll make call to the delete function that we have just wrote and refresh the screen. Okay, by making use of the set state function. So let's make this function asynchronous and await. Okay, await company services, company service dot delete company. So for this, we need a company ID, that is data. Okay, data is the snapshot of data. Okay, data index dot id, and let's make it a null check operator. And now pop the dialog, navigator dot pop of context, and rebuild the page again by making use of set state function. Okay, okay, let's see either it works or not. Okay, let me restart the app. The company's data are now loading. Okay, now let's click on, let's try to delete this Uber. Okay, is it a have image not loaded? So then click on delete, and it is asking me, are you sure want to delete company? So I have typed here, and it will be more better if you change the color of this button also. And if I click on as, it is gone. So now delete feature is also working successfully. Now let's try to edit. Okay, so to edit this company, so whenever we click on this edit button, we must go, we arrive to this page, but these fields must be filled by default with the values that are seen in the first page. Okay, that is company page. Okay, so let's edit our create company page to handle such situations. So here let's ask for company details if we have. So here you can ask for company like this, company is we are making it nullable, so that it will be null, or we can pass while we are creating it. Okay, so let me update the constructor to include this. We can simply write this dot company. Okay, and we can make it final. Okay, now there are no errors, and here we can make our init state. Okay, init state, and if the value of this company is not null, then we can initialize all these variables. Okay, so let's write init state function here and check if company is null or not. Okay, if company if it is a stateful widget, then we have to use something like widget dot company is not equals to null. Then we are going to initialize the value of each text field. Okay, like underscore name controller dot text is equals to company dot name. Okay, widget dot company dot name, company dot company name, and let's use null check operator here. And the company is not going to be null, as we already say this will be executed only when it is null, is not null. Okay, so same for address controller dot text widget dot company dot company address and underscore uh, company phone underscore phone controller dot text is equals to widget dot company dot number. Okay, company number. Let's use null check operator here also. Now whenever we navigate to this screen with this data, then the text will be automatically initialized. And if it is update, then we have to change this event button also. Okay, so let's check either it is, or let's just change this function and this button, everything will be same. Okay, so let's check a condition here. If company, so if the company value is null, widget.company value is null, then it is the user is trying to add, otherwise user is trying to update. Okay, so widget.company is not equals to null. If it is not null, then we have to update. Okay, instead of creating company, we have to update company, and we can see the error for new company. Okay, so we haven't defined the parameter list of this update company. Okay, else we have to create company. Okay, and for the this text also we are going to use dot and operator. Okay, widget dot company is equals to null. What if it is null, then instead of this submit, we are going to use create company text. Okay, create company, otherwise update company. So let's change the function in the company service. Okay, so to update company, we can either partially update or fully update. Okay, so for these two purposes, we have put and patch. Okay, the put method will update the whole data, and the whenever we have to update only few details, we can go with patch. Okay, so Let's continue with the put method first, and I can demonstrate the patch method at the end of the video. Okay. So let's go to the company service and update company. So to update company, to fully update the company, we need the whole company data, that is the company object. So I can simply write company and the variable and company. And the endpoint for updating the company is also same like the deleting the company, as you can see in the API documentation. To put the patch post request, then we have to write company slash the ID of the company. So we'll receive the ID from the company object. Okay. So no need to add something like this. Okay, in the ID. Okay, we are not receiving the ID. Like we can write it. Okay, let's write ID. As we are making the same object for creating and updating. The while creating, we don't have ID, right? And here in the create company page, we are making use of the same object. Like this here, the object is created, and we're using this same object here and here. We have to additionally pass the ID also. Okay. Let's go to update company. We need company and ID, that is integer ID, and let's copy all this code from the delete company method, and we'll make appropriate change wherever needed. Okay. So I am going to paste this code here. The first change we need to make is change the method to put. Okay. stdb.put, and the base URL is same, and we are providing slash ID. This is also fine. And the response status code will be 200 or 201. If we have any other, then we can check. Okay. So let's write our log. Like the response status code is string response dot status code. Okay. Okay, we can search for this statement after we made the request so that we can know the status code. Response dot status code. Okay, now we have some error in create company. That is, we have to pass the company ID also. Okay. Okay, so the company ID is going to be visit.company.id. Okay. Visit.company not null dot id. This is also not going to be null. Okay, let's try to check this. Okay. So whenever we click on this edit button, we have to come to this screen and we have to pass the company data. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to the edit button, and here we have to go to the company screen. Okay, let me just copy the code. And let's paste it over here. And here we have to pass the company data. Okay. And it is inside the snapshot of data, that is a company object. Okay, now we can write company data index. Okay. So the when this expression, the company object of each company is stored, and we are passing it down the screen. So let me just restart it and try it. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's change the company of this Wells Fargo to Wells Fargo. Okay. Reco, and you can see the update company button here, and all the fields are pre-filled. And let's click on the update company, and let me restart it to check either Wells Fargo is changed to Wells Fargo or not. Okay, let me restart. Okay, null check operator used on null value. Okay, I think we don't have company, we haven't passed company logo, is it? Null check operator used on null value. So we are not receiving the company logo from the server. So let's continue with this. So we can we can write something. If company logo is not present, then we can show some other image. Okay, like instead of this null check operator, we can write like this, two what signs to check if this front value is null. We can provide another value. Let's go to the API, instance of the API, and display the Google logo. Okay, Control C. So let's restart again. Okay, I think there is null in company name also. Let's check what exactly happened in our API. Okay, let me just refresh this. And here in the first uh, company data, we only have the company ID 2 and no any other details. Okay, so it is causing us the problem. So let's just delete this. So we have tried to update it, but the values are not updated. Okay, so let's handle if there is nothing. Okay, for every situation, like we can make use of double what and company name unavailable. Okay, we'll check the error also. Okay, if something have happened, company number, no number. We can simply write no number, no address. So let me restart the app again. Here you can see company name unavailable, no number, no address. Okay, so let's check what exactly happened. The Decode console. Okay, let's check for the error. Okay, let's go to the services file and go to the update company, and let's see, check either it is a successful condition or not. So if it is successful, then we can see messages like the company. Okay, let's try to edit another company. Okay, and check all the things clearly. Okay, we forgot to put the data. Okay, now I remember. Just like we pass the data while we created the data, we just edit it here, but we haven't or we have forgot to add the data in the body. Okay, like if you over in the put, then you will have to send the data in the body, but we have we haven't. So let's edit here, comma body and company dot to JSON. Okay, now let me restart it again. Okay, we will delete this empty company. Okay, let me delete this empty company first. Yes, it is now deleted. Now let's edit this target company. Okay, let's change its name to target Flutter, and then let's click on. Okay, let me clear the debug console so that we can catch error if we have, and click on update company. Okay, here you can see the company is successfully. Okay, it is the deleted. Okay, the response status code is 200. So it means the update method is successful. So let's try this by refreshing the page. As you can see, the name of the company is Target Flutter, and the logo is also changed as we have passed this stuff. Okay, like in the add company screen, in the create company screen, we have changed the logo like this. Okay, like the company logo is this logo by default. So while we update it, we have seen the detail, the logo with this detail. Okay, so it is completed. Now let's try the patch method. Okay, by making use of the patch method, we can only update. Okay, update certain data only. Like for example, I can only uh, proceed to update name or address only or phone number only. Okay, uh, so let's go to combine service again, and I will write update company partially, and for this we need to have data in map string comma dynamic, or we can pass the company object as well. Okay, as all the fields are nullable, we can pass the company object with other field null. Company. Okay, as we have already configured this company.toJSON with the uh, initial assumption of having all the data, it may bring the error. So let's go with the initial approach. Okay, map string from a dynamic, and let's make it asynchronous, and the code will be same. Okay, for this update and the above one, the difference is the method will be changed and the data we have sent will be changed. Okay, and the way we implement it changed. As you are clear about the purpose of these two methods, so let me just paste this data over here, and instead of this put we are going to use patch. And instead of this, okay, we have forget to add a variable here, updated data, and we need ID, that is int ID. So I will make a uh, icon over here, and as soon as the icon is pressed, I'm going to change the name to Flutter. Okay. So it doesn't make any sense, but just to demonstrate the use of patch request, I'm going to do it. Okay. In the body, we are going to pass updated data. So let's give it a try. Let's go to company screen. And here let's add another icon button. Okay, after this icon button, I'm going to add another icon button. Okay, you guys might be thinking this is stupid, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm just demonstrating, and the video is also long. So to maintain it, we are doing this quickly. Okay, icons dot favorite, and once it is clicked, we are going to, okay, let's make it asynchronous pause and await company service dot, okay, let's make object dot update company partially. Okay, and here we have to pass the updated data, that is map with a string dynamic format. Okay, here we are going to pass name with this value. Okay, Flutter hero. The ID is going to be the ID that we received from the API, that is data index.id. And let's refresh the UI after that. Okay, so we can make use of set state function. Okay, we have overflow, so let's give this expanded widget a more flex. Okay, like 3. Okay, now we can see the favorite button. So let me click on this, and it is converted to the Flutter hero. Okay, so let's try it for this also. Based by, okay, we only need to change the title, okay, not a logo. Okay, so let's check for target. The logo is same, rest of the data are same, but the title is converted. So guys, finally we have covered all 5 methods, so that are get, post, put, patch, and delete. I hope you guys like this video. So if this video helps you, then be sure to subscribe our channel, and don't forget to leave the comment. Thank you for watching.